Hey guys, Mr. and Mrs. Splashback here for another video. So you're gonna see Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We will say that this is not a good look so far, if this is what's to come for 2025.
Yeah, rough start to the year. If you're new, this is Cameron and this is Linda. We are married and we sell stuff online on platforms like eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop. We find these items at garage sale and thrift stores. We try to sell $400 a day in our online store. These are sales from Friday through Sunday. So 3 days worth of inventory that's sold, and it's been slow. I actually talked to one of my friends who's a reseller. He has a different kind of business than us, but does resell things online, and they said the same. It's very slow for them this week, so don't know what's going on, but hopefully it will pick up. Usually this time of year is still pretty good into the new year. Usually summertime for us is the slowest, but there are some really cool items to show you guys, so definitely worth tuning in, and we'll go over the numbers and show you what's sold.
We came in at 24 sales across 2 different platforms this weekend that totaled around just under 900.
Yeah, normally we'd be at 1,200. Normally we have probably at least 35 plus sales. A lot of times we're in the 40s. Yeah. So we're about, at least 10 or so, sales away from where we normally would be, maybe 11. So that doesn't help either. Even if you're averaging another $20 a sale, that helps you get up towards, $1,100. So that'd be a lot better. But let's get into it and show you what did sell.
First up on Poshmark, a couple of our Funkos. I don't know if they're part of the Funko buy. They are. Okay, so these are part of the Funko buy. This is a Seinfeld lot. We have the Kramer and we have Jerry. The Kramer one is 1102. It's the bigger one with the big background. And then you have Jerry 1096, and obviously the smaller one. I don't know if it's a special item that comes in the bigger one or if it's just for the look of it, but that 2-pack right there sold for $20 plus buyer paid shipping with Poshmark.
Not a whole lot of value on those two, so just happy to see them go.
Then go to eBay and we start off with this Batman motion picture anthology from 1989 all the way to 1997. It's a Blu-ray set. You've got the different Batmans and the different 4 different movies, and that one sold for $16 shipped.
And that was like 50 cents at a garage sale, so that was awesome.
Next up, this is a cool piece. Cameron didn't know what to look for, what to list it, because it doesn't make sense. This is a Disney piece, if you couldn't tell. It's a Walt Disney Mickey Mouse cast metal head. We're not sure if it's like a pot holder or like if it gets hung up, because it's got a hole on the top, like if it gets hung up on the wall, but it doesn't go all the way through, so that doesn't make sense either.
It was in a big collection I had bought from, they had a lot of Beatrix Potter stuff and like Peter Rabbit. This was with that kind of stuff, and it was a lot of vintage stuff, so I just grabbed it, threw it in. It is super heavy, listed it with just a couple of keywords that I could come up with, which weren't many, and it sold for
$30 shipped.
So that was pretty cool. I was happy with that.
Yeah. Then we have off of a Hoover Futura, we have our replacement hose assembly, sold for $70 shipped.
This is an older canister vacuum. You can kind of tell the style is definitely older too. This sold though in a couple days because there's not many of these listed. So the big canister vacuums, usually we recommend Kenmore as the ones to pick up. This is a Hoover one, and again, it did sell. Unfortunately, the whole vacuum itself I could not fix, but at least we made money on that and a couple other pieces as well.
Next up, Cameron picked up a Presto salad shooter, and first part off of this is going to be the set of 3 slicer and shredder cones. So you put it on there, and then you put your pieces through, and it starts shredding it up. And that sold for $25 shipped just for the cones.
Yeah, so I basically parted out. I don't have the motor in here, but I have like the cord, the little pusher, the little chute here, the little ring, and then the rings sell really well, and then these little guys sell well. If you have only one of them, you can probably get about $10 for one, but it's better if you have a couple of them, they can log them together.
Then my brother's stuff is still selling. We have the my brother's stuff is still selling. We have the Nintendo GameCube power supply and adapter, sold for $27 shipped.
Yes, that was the GameCube didn't work, so we sold it that way. I usually would include that with the GameCube, but if it doesn't work, you can still make some money. Next,
we got this pair of Rock Revival Patty boot jeans. They're distressed ones, sold for $26 and some change.
Women's, and I think they do have a stain on them. Usually, women's Rock Revival do a little less than the men's for us.
Then from our local Angel View, we picked up the Avengers, not the superheroes. This is a new sealed 2-disc set, sold for $18 shipped.
Yeah, I think I paid $4 or $5 for this. Maybe
it's some kind of series, because this is I think this is number 3. Oh, it's a British TV cult classic.
You know about your British TV.
Next up, a pair of Nikes. These are the Air Jordan 1 Flight 2s. They are from 2014. They're a grayish blue with they're gray with the blue accent
some staining
pieces.
and discoloration though.
Yeah, and those did sell for $40 shipped, and those came out of the Nike 450 buy, which is one we haven't heard from in a while, so that's pretty cool. Then this one's a cool one. Karen picked up a bunch of Winross. Winross, guys. Winross. It's a name to look out for. Winross is a toy company. Okay. Made in the USA toys. And I'm talking vintage toys. Okay. There you go. These are the Winross toys. Cameron couldn't find something like this listed. And so he said his new motto is if he can't find it, he's going to put it on auction. So he did. And two people, both with Winross in their eBay name, started bidding and bidding and bidding. And by the time it was all said and done, this piece itself is a Atlantic Culvert 1/64 scale, came to $73 shipped on auction.
Yeah, I paid $500 for 3 auction lots of these trucks. Now, not all of them are this valuable. This is an older one. There's a lot of them that will be $25 and $30 trucks. Some will be $40, $50 trucks. I haven't even listed them all, but this was one of the ones I could not find any info on. There were none listed, nothing like it. So did it via auction and it paid off. If I had more of those, it'd be really great because we can make our money back even quicker. But I don't know if there's any more of those particular ones in there.
Yeah.
So.
Probably want to message the Winross guys that were doing that and say, hey, which ones don't you have?
Yeah.
We might be able to fill your collection.
But I will say, if you're buying them, a lot of them are really not super valuable. Like, you want to know, and then be careful how much you're paying. I probably paid more. I just took a chance on all of it to buy it because there were some good ones in there that I did look up. I looked up everything. But I probably wouldn't recommend just going out and buying all this if you saw it at a sale. Unless I would pick and choose the ones if I was you.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting them for a really low cost of goods, because otherwise you'll probably sit on them for a while.
Next up, out of our car parts, we got a Nissan oil cooler bolt, sold for 21.5 shipped.
Actually, it's 5 bolts. But
5 of them in the pack.
But $21 for 5 bolts, guys. This was one of the best little buys I made. We bought a bunch of Nissan car parts, OEM.
Awesome.
And they keep selling for 10, 20, 25 bucks. We've gotten through a pretty good size, and I have a whole other half of a box to go through.
Yeah, lots of them. Then the New Mutants on Blu-ray, sold for $18 shipped. Picked that up at Salvation Army. Then off of an Omega Juicer, we have the extractor screen strainer part, sold for $25 shipped. It looks like there's different strainers.
They all
strain to a different level.
Well, no, 2 of them are the same that we have. This is like a newer version for it, and then we have 2 of the same. One's a little dirt than the others. I'll have to look at the picture and figure out which one's which, but yeah. So these are the replacement parts. I got the juicer for free. The lady said that she was like, the motor doesn't work, so you can have it. And I was like, okay. And then I got some parts to polish it. So.
He said, sure.
Granted, it wasn't a little bit rough. I cleaned it up already to get it in the condition that it's in, but it's definitely not perfect. And I put that on my listing. One of them is better than the other one. The other one's a little rough. And then the newer one is in good shape. So my guess is she had these ones and she probably bought a new one. Yeah, I think whatever one the listing is cheaper, that's the one I did it for. So. Okay.
Yeah. That's also $25 shipped. Next up, this one's going to be canceled, so we're probably not going to say it. Then,
this one, yeah.
The Baby Brezzas. We told you guys we picked up 2, was it 3 of them that day?
You picked up 2. This is a separate one from a garage sale.
Oh, different one. One day at Savers, I picked up 2 different ones.
They sold some parts off.
Sold some parts off of that. This is a different one. This is the Baby Brezza Formula Pro. So better than the other ones. This is the Pro. And these are the steering wheel replacement parts. There they are. Bright orange for the Baby Brezza stuff. And that sold for $17 shipped just for the steering wheels.
I think I paid $3 or $5 for the whole set. And then we also have this and the rest of these parts to sell.
Next up, off of the Bissell Crossway, we had the multi-service clean tank parts assembly. There it is.
Super light, not the best selling part though.
Yeah. That's all for $15 shipped. Then at Savers over the weekend, I was going through the bags of stuff and I found this 2-pack of HP 951 XL inks. We had the cyan and we had the yellow, and it was $12.99, and then we used our discount off of that. So
and they are expired 2019, guys. So a lot of people say don't sell them, they're expired. If they're super old, be careful. But if they're a few years old, we still sell them. These sold for
$33 shipped.
Yeah, and we paid $12 for them. Whatever we got them. It was like a double up, dude. We were gonna double our money.
Yeah.
But it was gonna be an easy sell. I wouldn't recommend buying everything $12 and selling it for $30, depending how long it's gonna sell it on. But these sold in a couple days.
Yeah.
So
Then we got some old Beats by Dr. Dre. These are the Executive Silver wired noise canceling over-the-ear headphones. As you can tell, they are nasty. They just need some TLC. And they still sold for $14 shipped in the condition they're in.
These were just lying around for the longest time. So just have this thing go.
Then we got a Craftsman. This is the open-end wrench. It's a 2532 and 1316 V series, sold for 11 and some change.
25 32s, 13 16s.
25 32s and 13 16s. And then
More
from Salvation Army, we got more car parts. This is a 2-pack of genuine Mazda engine oil filters, sold for $28 shipped.
These are like $3.99 for the pack at the place, and then we sold them for that, so that was a really good deal. They are brand new.
Next up is the big boy.
This is cool, guys. This is something that's unique.
There's the original box.
Noble Games, limited edition mahogany.
Noble Games Mancala. I don't know if you guys have ever played Mancala. Mancala is the game where you have the board that has grooves in it, and you get rocks or some kind of piece, and you drop them in one by one. You got to count them out. It is a fun game if you can learn to play it. If you don't want to learn to play it, it can be difficult. This one looks a whole lot different.
This looks like a professional one.
This is like not the dollar store one, that's for sure.
It looks very beautiful.
And I think it has the pieces inside
They're
of it.
inside the drawer.
Yeah, so there's little drawers on the side that hold the pieces.
I'm pretty sure it's
Is it this one? Yeah.
Somehow, yeah, it is like this.
You sure?
Yeah, they're right there.
Okay, let me see if I can get a piece of it. So these pieces are like little discs. A lot of people play with marbles or little gemstones. These ones are discs.
And there's like a little storage thing in there.
Yeah, so they slide. There's like three little slots, and they slide in there, and then the little side piece closes, little drawer closes on it and holds them in place. It's
a really nice set. I found it at a garage sale. I think I paid $10 or so. I thought it looked cool, and then I was like, oh, this thing is just nice. And there was one comp, I think, for $200 or $180. I was like, but nothing else on it. And I was like, I'm grabbing it. I'm just taking a chance on it. And I listed mine high, and it sold in a couple months. It took a while, but it sold for
$238.
Boom.
Shipped.
That made our weekend.
You did.
Literally made our weekend.
Because if you subtract that off, guys, we did not look good.
No. So that was so that happened today, Sunday. So
literally
that was awesome.
Today.
I was like, check it out.
10 hours
I was like,
ago?
babe, check out what just sold.
We can pay for lunch today.
Yeah.
Next up, we got a 3-pack of Kodak Easy Share color ink cartridges and paper packs. Those sold for $37 shipped.
These were like $5 each, but I got them half off, so $7.50. Sold for 30 something. You got to have a lot of them really to start making money on these. You have just one, you're not going to make a whole lot. So just to be clear.
And last but not least, this is the Ireland National Olympic Committee pins for Seoul,
that's for Korea.
Seoul 1988, and those sold for $15 shipped on an offer.
They just came in a random lot of pins we had, so happy to get $15 for them. So that's all we got, guys.
And then also we did a sale. We did an extra sale today. It was a lot of 3 Tyco freight. We had the freight train, the car, and the caboose. They have Shell, Spirit of 76, and Virginian, and they're like the little Tyco ones. They're like this big. And we had somebody in our town, literally, 5 blocks away, message us, hey, I bought these, can I come get them from you? And I was like, ooh, you bought them like regular shipping, and we can't upload that they were shipped without, there being issues. So I canceled the sale, marked it as local pickup only. He bought them, and then Cameron went out in the dark and met somebody at our local park.
Well, Linda coordinated it.
I said, do you want them now? And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, I'll send my husband. And
no,
he's like,
you were going to go. She's like, I'm going to go to the park.
I was just going to go.
At nighttime.
It's not a problem. And because they had a nice profile picture, it looked like a lady and her husband, and it was under her name. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to meet the lady.
Because all the serial killers probably put a little scary photo up there.
It's totally fine. I was like, I'll take the dog. It'll be fine. And Karen's like, you're not going to go. I'm like, well, they're going to be there in 10 minutes. And he's like, oh, I'll just go. And I'm like, okay. So Cameron went out and met a scary person, and it turned out to be a very nice gentleman who fixes trains and then resells them.
On eBay.
On eBay. And he had a piece that was one of the ones we had.
The caboose that I sold, he had with the train set that he sold, and when he went to clean it, I guess the paint was so worn on it that he cleaned it, rubbed off a bunch of the paint. because he was just kind of last minute cleaning it before he shipped it out.
Yeah.
So he messaged us to buy ours because he's going to pair it with his and ship it out. He goes, great, I can print my label tonight.
Yeah.
It was just funny that one eBay seller helped another eBay seller.
It did. It worked out, and I was like, yeah, I'll change your local pickup. We can get you set up. I can do in the morning, whatever, unless you're not doing anything right now. And he's like, I'm not. I'm like, okay, perfect.
He was super, super nice guy. He actually fixes trains, like goes into the engine and like takes them apart. We have these little, you know, Tyco and LGB and Bachmann trains, knows how to fix them. But he was very appreciative, kept saying thank you, really nice guy, and it's his hobby. He used to fix cars, and now he fixes trains.
We got a sale, saved his sale, so.
Yeah, that was awesome, and we made some money, and we actually saved money because he paid full price, and then we didn't have to ship it.
Yeah.
So we actually saved probably $5 or something, $5 something on that, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And like I said, hopefully his buyer will be happy. That's all we got, guys. A slow weekend for us, but some pretty cool stuff here. The Mancala set was awesome. Yes. A lot of the rest stuff is bread and butter, but I do think it's stuff you really should be looking out for. Yeah. Like Kodak stuff, ink, DVD sets. We sold three different kitchen items, a vacuum, 2 vacuum parts, all kinds of stuff that I think a lot of people are not looking for at the sale. They're looking for the video games. They're looking for, you know, Bose or whatever the big names. Don't
walk up and say, got any old video games?
I mean, I do ask sometimes.
Yeah,
but
he does.
I've seen people run to chase down, like everyone's running to a thing for video games as they pass up more money sitting on shelves, on tables, because they're looking for something so specific and they just miss the value in other things.
Yep.
You know,
don't be afraid to branch out, guys.
Yeah. I told that to one of my friends who was a reseller. I was like, the best decision I ever made was branching out of video games when I first started reselling. Like
now
I started thinking, like, I used to be like, I'll just sell video games because at the time I just kept finding them, but now it's hard to find.
Yeah, because they have one and their mom sells them.
I learned that I've made more money on other stuff than I've ever made on video games.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Look at this Mancala game. That ain't a video game.
And look, it's just in a little box. A lot of people would have just overlooked this.
Just been sitting in somebody's stack.
It was it had stuff on it. It was a stack of games, so you could only see this. I was like, oh, Mancala. I was like, I know people like Mancala. And then I took and I got to the bottom. I was like, oh wow, there's a nice cover on there. And then I opened up and I was like, oh, this is going home. It's that little state sale. So
check it out, guys.
That's it. See you guys next video. Take care. Bye-bye.